Okay, we're now live. Welcome to Broadsheet on the Telly. My name is John Preposterous Ryan, and you're very welcome to Broadsheet on the Telly, particularly to Broadsheet commenters and Broadsheet readers and trolls and the like. With us tonight are Johnny Keenan from Kilkenny, Lucky, who is speaking to us from Eindhoven. You'll remember Lucky is with the Direct Provision Group, and we're going to have a chat with him in a minute. And Olga Cronin, who's also with the sheet, and she's going to go through tomorrow's front covers of the Irish papers. Okay. Thanks, Olga.
No problem. So these are the papers. Just trying to see now if I can. I can't seem to move them. I'm not sure why.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on, just maybe that's just my fault. Are they moving now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. So the papers are dominated by the Simon and Leo leadership race. Basically, it's kind of a complete reversal from last week. If you remember, there was like the headlines were shock and awe, and Varadkar was ahead. But the Irish Times had a poll this evening just before they had a debate in the Red Cow Inn in Dublin, and basically. According to the Irish Times poll, ISPOS poll, ISPOS RBI poll, the electorate would rather have Simon Coveney as leader over 42% over Leo Varadkar at 37%, and then within that, for Fine Gael supporters, 48% would rather Coveney as leader over Varadkar at 44%. On the side of the Irish Times, there's a very, very sad story in relation to a 7-month-old child who died after she was left in a car, or after the child rather was left in a car for a number of hours in Tipperary, in Dundrum, County Tipperary. Extremely, extremely sad story. It was the hottest day of the year so far, I think, today. So extremely sad. And then Paul Cullen has a story there about Telly Hospital is facing a $6 million bill to tackle an outbreak of the lethal superbug, partially caused by cats to its cleaning. Sorry, caused by cuts to its cleaning budget, which left staff with 7 minutes to clean a bit. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but apologies. Sorry, I was just trying to read that. Yeah, so the Irish Examiner has very similar structure there. As you can see, it's focusing on the debate and on the Irish Times poll, and then they've got that very sad story on the right as well. Sorry.
Are they? Do they have a different poll? The Examiner?
No. It's the Irish Times poll. It's the same.
Oh, right.
They've just embedded it. Like they've started off the splash on the debate, but then they've just embedded the stuff from the Irish Times poll as well. So that's that. And then Cormac O'Keefe and Juna McEnroe also have a story about Salman Abedi there in relation to Manchester, saying that the mother had said, that he had called his mother and said, "Forgive me," hours before the attack in Manchester. And it's also reported that his brother Hashim, who is being held in Tripoli in Libya, said that Abedi learned to build bombs from the internet and was hoping to seek victory for the Islamic State. And it also states in that story by Cormac O'Keefe and Juna McEnroe that the Garda Commissioner, Noreen O'Sullivan, wants the Garda force to retain responsibility for both the state and for state security and policing. Then further down, Catherine Shanahan has a story there about how the state paid out 177 million in damages between 2010 and 2014 over incidents of clinical negligence. Over that 5 period, there were 206,717 clinical incidents identified, and of that number, 1.4% or 2,870 were classified by the healthcare services as extreme, meaning they resulted in death or permanent incapacity. And then page 4, they kind of gave us page 4 and 6 and in the Examiner, and they just have more there on the debate that took place. But as you can see from the headlines, you know, Simon wins the clapometer test as candidates sweated out by Lisa Hand. a piece there. There definitely seems to have been a shift or a change in who everyone thinks is going to win now. So
yeah, and the reasons given.
The reasons given, I think, I think it's just that. I think the reasons given are just that that people are responding to him more, and I think they're probably responding to him more because he has made an issue, or he has made it clear that the difference between him and Leo Varadkar are in regards to, I think, social welfare recipients. That's my feeling on it, in the sense that how Leo Varadkar made it clear that he wants the Fine Gael party to be a party for the people who get up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas Simon Coveney has made it clear that, sorry, Johnny?
I was just
Johnny,
oh no, I didn't hear
so
you.
what about the people on night shift?
Yeah, absolutely. But just to make it clear, I think just to say that Simon Coveney has repeatedly made the point that what about the person who's on the sleeping bag in Grafton Street? But I think I think perhaps that Simon Coveney tapped into the response that maybe was coming from the ground up in regards to comments that Leo Varadkar made. You know what I mean? I think he almost kind of created a cleavage between the two of them by.
You said tonight that you said tonight that he stuck to his guns during the debate in terms of the kind of.
Yeah. He kind of said, like, he was kind of saying, if I remember correctly, he was kind of saying at the start of the debate, you kind of can't stand for everyone, or you'll just fall for anything. It was kind of he was kind of saying the Fine Gael party has to be the party for the middle classes or the coping classes or whatever you want to call it. Squeeze middle, because if Fine Gael doesn't stand up for them, who will? If I remember correctly, that's what he said. Whereas Varadkar was kind of trying to be more of a
one nation.
He was trying to reach out to everyone. He was trying to reach out to people, like, as he said himself, people who won't vote Fine Gael. So it seems like, to me anyway, look, who I'm no expert, but it would seem to me that Leo Varadkar is banking on getting the staunch Fine Gael cohort, whereas Simon Coveney is trying to get the people who might not usually vote Fine Gael, but might, but it's almost like Simon Coveney's looking at it as an election as opposed to the Fine Gael leadership, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Last week, we did say it. We did say that Coveney. I mean, I always felt that Coveney was the anointed one. Johnny, sorry, I want to get to you before.
I'll close down the paper, shall I?
Oh, sorry.
The Sun is.
Sorry, Olga.
No, not at all. The Sun is talking about that story about the baby in Tipperary again, and obviously continued coverage of Manchester. And then the Daily Telegraph, just a piece there, Jeremy Corbyn is going to link Britain's involvement in military action abroad to terrorist attacks such as the Manchester suicide bomber. So, but I'll close it down so we can comment properly. So.
Thanks, Olga. Just before we start a chat about Leo and so, Lucky, you're in Lucky.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in Eindhoven.
Yes, I am.
Why are you in Eindhoven?
Right.
Yeah.
We have a talk tomorrow. Actually, this event has been going on for a week, but we're joining it tomorrow. The talk that we will be involved in is on the life in Ireland in terms of the migrants or refugees, how they are treated in Ireland in terms of being in institutions, the children effects in these conditions, and also the response we do in terms of the interventions in projects that we embark on in addressing these issues within the context of Ireland. One of them being the project that we started last year on our table, which is a project that addresses the fact that people in these centers in direct provision, for instance, cannot be able to cook. And we are raising that awareness here, and also letting people know what we have been doing in terms of addressing those issues, and doing the work that we do in letting the government see that there is something that we can do as well from our side.
And the Dutch, do they have a direct provision system similar to ours, or do they have a less?
No, they don't. They don't have a direct provision system. This side, it's only in direct provision is only in Ireland here in Europe.
Yeah. Excuse me. So, do they have a different system whereby they separate asylum seekers who have yet to be established their bona fides?
Yeah, well, I'm not too familiar with their system, but they don't have a direct provision system. They are.
What has the reaction been locally or in Holland then to the system as you described it?
Yeah, well, I'll be able to judge on that tomorrow once we had the talk with them, because we are going to have the talk tomorrow. Today we were just doing the planning and how we're going to approach the talk, and then we'll get to hear about their reaction as to how knowledgeable are they with the systems in Ireland, and probably then share with how they treat their fellow refugees and asylum seekers here in this land.
Mm.
So we'll be able to balance that.
Okay. You seem exhausted, Lucky.
It's been a long it's been a long day, and it's late. It's late already here. It's what time here? It's 1 o'clock here.
Well, I won't keep you any further. Lucky, any word on the direct provision day we mentioned a few weeks ago? I heard something maybe in the Phoenix Park.
Oh yeah, there is the date that has been planned for that. I'm not too sure if there's any change to that.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's still on, but we'll see. I'll see if it still continues.
Okay.
As far
Okay.
as I know, it's supposed to still continue.
Okay. Well, I'll get the date from you maybe tomorrow. We'll put a proper shout out on the show next Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe when you get back. Lucky. Good night. Please sleep well. Very sorry to have kept you up. Thank you for joining.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Lucky.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay. See you. God, poor man. I'm so tired. Johnny.
Yeah.
The direct provision day is going to happen. I think sometime. I gather sometime in July or.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Lucky.
Bye.
Yeah, well, yeah. As Lucky says, it's great. There's movement. It's always good to see something moving forward. I didn't get up to Africa Day there last Sunday, but I heard it was really good. With lovely pictures.
Yeah.
So this is all the multicultural. Yeah, we had it all good.
No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't in Dublin.
Yeah.
So I missed it. But I did really
Yeah.
like Donald Maloney's pictures. It did look like it was a great day.
Well, yeah,
Johnny,
really, really good.
Johnny, you were
Well, yeah.
you were chomping at the bit about Simon and Leo. Did you see the debate this evening?
Yeah, yeah. Well, but I just wanted to say about the provision, the direct provision. What
Sure,
Duffy,
yeah, yeah.
it's a planning there, and with some other heads, like-minded heads. But that's where it's at in relation to Ireland. This multiculturalism and coming together, because the fear now is just really bad on the back of Manchester, and it's very refreshing to see Lucky over Eindhoven flying the flag for Ireland. A black man from South Africa flying the flag for Ireland in Europe. Doesn't get much better than that. But the politicians have to really look at themselves. But like tomorrow on the Late Late Show, they're going to be going on about the 50th anniversary of the community games, and everyone remembers the community games was originally Butlins, and then it was Mosney,
Yeah.
and Mosney is now one of the biggest direct provision centres in the country. So it'll be interesting to see Ryan Tuberty and Niall Quinn and a few other sports stars, some rugby guy and some GA guy. I think they're going to talk about community games, and they're just going to be able to ignore exactly what's in that site now that was so dear to so many people, have such great memories. That now it's an open prison. So the hypocrisy of the Late tomorrow night will know no boundaries, and I just wanted to be said now that should be a place of memories. And once again, Lucky, fair play to them, and I'm looking forward to, as I said, working on the day itself. We're definitely going and enjoying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go back to what the other two are about. Leo Varadkar and Simon Coveney. I tried to tune out, John, because it's like two guys that have come down from another planet and decided, oh, I'm going to run this thing. And you have to realize that the two of them are actually in government at the moment. And they're coming out and they're saying all these things like this is all new to them. So I'm kind of sick of it already. And there's another 10 days to go. I would like to know where Varadkar is in relation to Sean Fitzpatrick. Has he made a defiant kind of statement? Because I didn't hear it. Now maybe that's more to be said for me because I've kind of tuned out in the last day and a half. Also, I've been in the bog, turning turf. So that's a world away in itself, which is great, very tranquil.
Well, I think there were statements made today in the Dáil about the collapse of the trial and the Office of Director of Corporate Enforcement, and it was Mary Mitchell O'Connor who was taking the questions. I don't know if Leo said anything. It was funny though. It wasn't funny, but Joan Burton made the point that she kind of referenced his welfare cheats cheat all campaign, and was like that he'd be better off putting that money into that campaign into combating white collar crime. But which I thought was interesting given her own history in relation to, didn't she set up a Dole helpline, or fraud, Dole fraud helpline.
Sham marriages was a big campaign at the beginning of her. You remember sham marriages? The Irish Times.
Oh yeah, sham marriages.
Scourge of sham, people, strangers marrying each other like street corners practically. It was a huge epidemic now.
It's like 1940s Ireland all over again.
The Leo Varadkar thing, I'd like to think it was the welfare cheats us all, and I imagine that's the reason given for the sort of upsurge in Coveney. I also think the people whom Leo was photographed yesterday, they were like, I don't know. I mean, you've got Regina Doherty, Michelle Mullihuran, and they're like figures of fun on the site. I mean, I don't mean they're sort of pillory, but their views are sort of populist and toxic at the same time. All of their views, I can't sort of quite remember the names of them, but Leo's gang seemed to be very very sort of reactionary in a liveline way, you know.
Mm.
Sorry.
No, I did see what Olga was talking about there today. Actually, my favorite channel says more about me, the Rocket TV. But yeah, the Mary Mitchell O'Connor. Like I almost said, well, fair play to her. You know, she's not trying to hide behind anything, which the party usually do when there is a big, huge hoo-ha about something. She was saying, yeah, it is quite serious, and we will be done about it. I will do something about it. So I can only, like, take her at her word there, and I thought that was kind of fairly noble from a Fine Gael in the current climate. Like you say, yeah, there is something wrong here in relation to the Sonny Fitzpatrick case.
Yeah.
That she wants to get to the bottom of it.
Well,
So I give them the thumbs up on that one. But I don't know. Are we talking about Sonny Fitzpatrick?
well, I think the two are slightly related because the freeloaders thing and the people who get up early and Shoney's the guy who probably got up very early.
Yeah.
There's a funny thing about people who got up early, and I speak as somebody who used to get up very early. And what happens? They said this about the George W. Bush, the son, the second the son's administration, that they were all mostly teetotalers, or kind of on the dry, and they'd get up. They'd start about 6, 7 a.m. George Bush and Cheney and all these guys. The problem was that by 5 o'clock they were completely mad. I don't know if you've ever, your judgment is completely off, and you're in a fury about stuff that doesn't matter, and you've got the nuclear codes, right? The problem was, I think that's a problem about getting up early anyway. Sorry. Johnny, what time do you get up anyway?
Depends. No, I wouldn't be an early riser because I go to bed late. My mind kind of, is full. I'm a night owl, always was. I worked in bars and hotels and such from an early age, and I kind of just got into that kind of, late night thing. But
I think
Simon, I wouldn't be a fan. Simon wouldn't have, or not Simon, but Leo wouldn't raise someone like me because I don't get up in the morning. But as I said,
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I was on.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just going to say, wasn't it more about, though, that like early risers, these are the people that pay for everything. These are the people who work. Like, it was more. I felt it was more about,
it wasn't about seeing the dawn. I think it was about, obviously there was
yeah. Sorry.
Like, you didn't have to get up early to sign on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think that was the message. But what's amazed me is, the sense of not delusion, but the sense of dissonance. I don't know if anybody. When you sign on, it's like you got to give your blood type practically, and you got to go back into your past. And if you're unemployed, it's because you've messed up with some, or you've like lost your job, or lost
it's so difficult.
And it's so difficult. You would. Certainly to get any kind of health card, forget that. No matter how kind of sick you are, and anyway, and then rent allowances.
Yeah.
But so to break into, crack the system, even if you're a legitimate person, it's so difficult. And I would wonder how much the average bit of larceny they're talking about. Maybe it's like a week's dole or something.
But also, like, the figures show that a lot of it has to do with overpayments. So like a lot of people are on the dole, they might get a bit of work here and there, so that you have to keep on going back to telling the dole office, I've done like a shift here, or I've worked today here, or I did a bit of work. And then there's a process of, them calculating it and coming back. And then you get a bill saying you actually owe us money. And so, and I've often wondered that that's actually happened to me, where getting job seekers benefit. Then I was doing some work, but I had to inform them. And then I got a letter saying, but I mean, I was informing them, like bringing up letters and everything, but it was a case of getting a letter in the post, revenue have, been on, and we know you're working. But it was like, yeah, but I've kept you informed of this. I haven't done anything. And then I get a bill, or I get a notification that I owe them 200 quid or something. So I was like, oh, of course. But then it's a matter that they just slice it off the rest of the time that you may be in receipt of benefit. But I have wondered, that is that an overpayment? Does that mean, who's cheating who? Is someone, am I,
Well, I regard it as
I find it very different.
You'll get it back in your pension, or
No, I'm sure.
I hope you paid them back. I mean, I hope you didn't leave them short again.
Well, it's not up to me. It's just taken out of It's just taken out.
Well, they just they can snatch it back. You see, this is it. I mean,
Yeah.
Say if you got away with something. I mean, I'm not suggesting. Like, say if you got a 2 weeks dole, they can cut you off the legs anyway. So, they're like they're worse than banks, really. I guess. But sorry.
But look, no one's going to expect Leo Varadkar to have ever been on the dole, but it's a case of, it just shows, though, that if they don't know, I guess, the kind of intricacies of signing up and going through the whole process, if they did, I don't think they would be so quick to think that people just kind of, rip the system off, Look, of course, there are probably, there's a percentage of, fraud or whatever, but the campaign made it seem so much more.
Well, the funny thing about Thatcherism, how Thatcherism actually even managed to get sort of beyond a year or 2 years in Britain was they had enough North Sea oil money to pay the dole for all the people who flooded the dole. I mean, the dole increased by 1 million, I think, in her first 2 years. 1 million people went on the dole because of her policy, because of these policies, these Thatcherite policies, which obviously sort of.
Yeah, but if you look at that time, and Stuart Lee, the great comedian, he really kind of romanticizes about that. Everyone was on the dole that was in our community, but they could go anywhere, and everything was affordable. This kind of, you're ripping off the system and all that.
Yeah.
And for what? I'm not entitled to anything. My wife is earning so much money, but I still have to sign on. And I said, well, I'm signing on each year, and he said, oh yeah, well, that'll be good when your pension comes in. I said, what? My old pension. That's what I look forward to. I haven't even reached my peak, and you're telling me to look forward to a dole pension. You know what I mean? Like that. There's no such thing as pensions anymore for anyone who's working. You're looking to get an 18-month contract. And and it really is. He set it up. He's talking about this hard left. The people that want something for nothing. I don't want fucking something for nothing. I just want a job. I just want to be part of society. I've got ideas. I've said this already. Maybe we should have a show about ideas, because it's getting a bit. I wouldn't say boring, but it's shocking that we have to keep giving out about the things that isn't being changed. Like, if you look at the whole political system, it really invites every kind of chancer, failed politician, or failed business person. Like, think about it, like, just what you have to do, especially in rural Ireland. Convince maybe 1,000 people that you're gonna fight their corner, and then once you get in, you say, sorry lads, my hands are tied, and you got a pension for life then as well. And for some strange reason, school teachers seem to love the idea of this. The hall is full of school teachers. So I don't really know in relation to who he's waging this war on, but it's kind of getting serious that people are kind of offended by it now, and they're talking about not even being angry anymore, just not even being surprised. But I think you actually do have to get angry, because if you look at the Shawnee Fitzpatrick case, and I actually wrote about this in Broadsheet when it did happen. But I don't think anyone really picked up on the point. But the point was, there was a jury that could still veto the judge. I don't know how legal it was. I don't think the case itself was legal, how it was wrapped up, my personal opinion. they were directed to do something that didn't make sense. So if I was on that jury, I would have said, no, this is a charade. This is a scam. You're directing us to do something because of what? And at the exact same time, there's a court case going on with Jobsbridge.
Yeah,
you know,
Jobstown, and I'll get
Jobstown. So yeah, it defies logic. So I don't know what Leo Riker is talking about. This hard left. I don't know where it is. There's just people that are asking questions, and if he can't handle that, not alone does he not deserve to be leader of his own party, I wouldn't put him in charge of
a
Sweet Job.
Which
Sweet Job.
Sweet Shop. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get. It wasn't 2 years ago. We got an email from.
Yes.
What was it?
Yeah, it was May 2015, so it was just after it happened. So basically, obviously, anyone who was in the just to explain.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just to explain that, Kevin O'Connell, the lead investigator, solicitor with the Office of Director of Corporate Enforcement, he had like 6 days of cross-examination in the court. So, but the thing is that a lot of it wasn't before the jury. So obviously, if something's said before the jury, then reporters who were there can't report on it. Now, we weren't there, but we did get an email saying that that this person had shredded evidence and that he had soon after had gone to hospital.
Checked into God's.
Yeah, St. John of God's. But remember we were like, oh, okay, but we couldn't report on it, obviously, and nobody could report on it.
But that's the reason 2 years later for the case to collapse. What's that all about? No.
So, like, as the precedent being set, then that if you are stressed out, under pressure, in rehab, having a drug or alcohol problem, or sign yourself into a mental institution or a dry out clinic, are you exonerated?
Well, I think it's already been said that he's going to be immune from any prosecution or any investigation.
Who shredded the document?
This gentleman, Kevin O'Connell.
Okay. He was the lead investigator, Johnny, who was looking into the whole case. But the thing is that it was very bizarre because he said, he himself didn't have much experience in taking statements, even though I think he worked for the DPP's office previously, but he didn't have much experience by all accounts, and it sounded like there was some back and forth between him and the DPP's office as well. So I don't know.
He shredded these documents that he said that he discovered them, and he realized after the questions that he realized that he would have to present them again and go through presumably more questioning. And
he panicked.
And in a moment of panic, he shredded these documents, which actually were the case effectively.
Keep it he shredded the case by mistake.
Yeah, I mean,
this is kindergarten stuff. He won't do it again. He learned his lesson.
Yeah, well, it's like the I have to say the Noreen O'Sullivan stuff. That's just getting kind of embarrassing. It's like, oh my God, the dog chewed the homework, and then and then really, okay. I mean, we seem to be in a limbo of absurd kind of nonsense, really.
Yeah, and reports after report. We'll have a report. We'll have another report. Shelve. We'll get a report on what happened with the ODC in probably 2 or 3 years. We'll have another bill for millions. We'll have a report into the report. It's kind of exhausting. But
it is, you're right, Audrey. It's very exhausting because, like, at the end of the day, all these people know that the legal system is an excuse to spend money. So who decides on having a report and having a tribunal and having an inquiry all this, someone has to be paid. I heard a figure north of $750 million is what the tribunals would have cost in the last 30 years. That's serious. You know what I mean? That's almost like
Yeah. I will say though that I think it was Elaine Byrne a couple of years ago said, I can't remember the figure now, but I think I remember because she wrote the book basically on tribunals, or kind of corruption, but she had a figure basically saying that the tribunals saved the state more money than they cost in the long term, for I suppose for the findings that they found and maybe changes then that took place. But yeah, it still doesn't. Just to say that point, but I agree with you, Johnny, that the cost is.
So just, I mean, the Sean Fitzpatrick trial. I have to say, Dan Boyle has a very good column today on the site. Its headline is "Plus de change," but the Fitzpatrick's acquittal, Sean Fitzpatrick's acquittal, plus the Leo welfare hit, eat the poor thing I think is kind of like combined in a horrible, perfect storm, certainly for Leo and his acolytes. And I want to sort of clarify that a bit earlier. It was just that he's very like Lucinda, really. In fact, it's Renewer. He's Renewer, really. Like if he should have left and
Gone with them.
And they really feel, I think, like people like Leo and Lucinda, they really feel that there is a gap in the market for this kind of stuff. They really feel like, and they keep on going back to the public, and they get kickback, Renewer, PDs after a while, unless you want to be that kind of 2-3 part, 2 ministers or a kind of a peripheral sort of ministry here and there, but sorry.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting in the debate tonight. I think it was when Simon Coveney made that point about, well, what about the person in the sleeping bag in Grafton Street? Now he said that I think last night in Vincent Brown as well, and there was a genuine reaction from the crowd, but in the sense that they were like, yeah, we don't want, we're not all about ourselves. We don't want to be greedy. We don't want to be not there for people who are vulnerable,
But coming out of his mouth is
yeah.
I mean, but
and today the new figures came out tonight about how there's 2,078 children homeless. Like the figures, the homeless figures have gone up again, and he was on Vincent Brown last night saying that there's 10,000 social houses, in the pipeline. But I think it was Mel Reynolds made the point that he just drew attention to Simon Coveney's own document that showed there's only, in the first three months of this year, there's only been 204 social houses actually completed. And yet, we're supposed to have, 25,000 houses built per year for the next 4 years or so,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's not getting any better. Like it is. If you talk about the main issues, Brad Kerr wants to just basically, as I say, wage war on the welfare. People who need welfare. I don't think anyone wants welfare. Obviously, there's a few people that don't want to work, but I think he's branded the welfare state, the people that need it, and a lot of those are people who have who need carers, who are carers. Basically, most of the population. So the homeless thing is not being dealt with. 12 families couldn't get accommodation there last night. Didn't stay in a Garda station, but they went down to a Garda station because there's nowhere else to go. Someone went looking for the park. This is 2017, and then an RTE show a frustrated young one giving out, and it was terrible to see the young mother giving out. But I don't think RTE served the people that's in that position well by just having young one woman shouting out. There's more people that are homeless than they seem to just want to show young mothers emotional when it comes to the homeless crisis. And I think the homeless crisis has got so many heads, and it really does come back into the people's perception about who their neighbours are and who exactly is in this country. It's all through RT bias. It really is serious.
Or what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Like, you've got 40 people sleeping on the street. If for instance, Trump or Macron was visiting Ireland, they'd clear that street, put those people into an accommodation for the evening. It can be done. It can be done in a night. You cannot.
There's 183,000 vacant houses.
Yeah, no, it's not just that though. I think that there's clearly, this can be stopped, but something. Are they trying to desensitize us to this? Are they trying to make us insensitive?
Yeah, I think you're right, John. Desensitization is what they do. That's a global thing. That just the more you see, the less you like. We're immune to famine now. You see the shots on Channel 4, seen on Paddy's Day. You know, it didn't have the same effect as it did in 1985 in Ethiopia. So the whole thing is desensitizing people and making us less humane, less empathetic. Definitely, that's a technique. That's probably an American Russian technique. I don't know, but we're taking it on board very easily anyway.
I think that I mean, technically, these people are looking for free stuff, you know, for a night or two. You know,
what are the priests and the clergy and the Catholic Church doing? What are they looking for?
I think there are some Catholic. The former Magdalene Laundry, is being used as for emergency accommodation. Some of them have been, but
I said this before.
But do you think that this is going to damage Fine Gael in the long run? Even just the focus on both of them, you know.
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
because we are essentially, you know, you can blame these guys for what they do and what they're only endemic of the culture, and we are actually Irish people are greedy, racist, bigoted. We're all those things that we say we're not, but in actual fact, and that's when you get to the core of who votes for these people. They want this. They know where to stand with Fine Gael. They know where to stand with Fianna Fáil. There's golf courses up and down the country that are hopping alive and well. There's GAA pitches, they're hopping alive and well. There's churches, and there's Garda stations. This is where we talked about who votes for these people. I'm not calling these people greedy. I'm just saying that that's part of. I want someone to look after me, rather than I want to be part of a new country. I want. The more one comes from these people that are chasing Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil to do stuff for them than the people that are looking for a sleeping bag. So, you know, I don't think the people that are looking for a sleeping bag want much than just a roof over their head. The people that are going around golf clubs and lobby groups and all that, they want more than they need. They just want. Well, that's the greed.
I think just on the Leo thing, and I was talking about the people that kind of gather around him are controversialists. You know, they're we say it how it is. You know, I'm not afraid to have a pop or whatever. You know, and it's usually a minority group, and it's usually somebody whose vote doesn't count or who doesn't vote for whatever reasons. So you've got sort of the Region Authority, Josephine Feely, Leo, and it's so badly timed. It's so badly timed because, as you say, it's about even Coveney is clutching at community, you know. And these are dyed in the wool. I mean, these are, you know, economically very right-wing people, all of them. You know, there's no real distinction there. There's no problem, in fact, if you were a business owner and a Fine Gael business owner, either will do. There's no problem here. But I do think in terms of hurting Ireland, I think these people hurt Ireland. I've been listening to them for the last 8 years, and bring nothing other than the kind of a sort of nihilistic hatred of other, you know, something different, you know, sexually different, or you know, not in their group, not in their club, not in their, you know, these people have done nothing but, to my mind, just divide and stir the poo, if you don't mind me saying. Sorry, Johnny. This is your role, not mine.
Yeah, no, you're right, John. They're shit stirrers. And the thing is, that probably the most frustrating thing for me as a 42-year-old, like, I know people that will be the same age as Coveney, 44. I know people that will be the same age as Riker, 30, 39. Like, they're not, they're not, they're young men, but they have the rhetoric of that party, Fine Gael. Like, when you start quoting Michael Collins, there's no line of connection whatsoever to say Michael Collins is Fine Gael. Okay, if they want to hijack him for whatever, let them do it. But Leo Varadkar quote Michael Collins to appeal to a new kind of Fine Gael or a new voter. It's an insult. It's an insult to anything. And I think the bravado and the way they go on, as we talked about there last week, it's kind of like the Fox hysteria, all bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Just come down off your high horses and talk to people like normal people. We are Irish, essentially, and we all know each other fairly well. Like, and that's the thing. We're unique. Ireland is unique, that we can actually sort this country out quite easily. And it really is going to come to the stage where people are going to have to stand up and be counted, and literally go down to the House of Parliament and say, "Listen, there's 2,000 people out here. We want to talk," and then they'll say, "Fuck off," and say, "Okay, we're going to be back next week. We're going to give you a week, and we're going to come back with 10,000, and we're going to talk." And then keep that. I really do think that is the Irish way, because there's no point in going with the hurls and all that kind of shit. You know, we can actually just psych these fuckers out, and I mean that. Like, you know, power to the peaceful is my mantra. But, like, you know, they're not listening. They're having a laugh. I know, when is enough enough? This thing can be sorted out quite easily. We have our own economy going on. You can talk about Brexit, you can talk about Europe and all that, but Ireland essentially has always been about the people, and we've been fucked over. That's the bottom line. So it's just a matter of how long we can take it. The 600,000 people that have left in the last 15 years, they want that. The brain drain is gone again. Seems to go. It's systematically every 20 years it happens. But there is jobs there, but they just need to be, the right people need to be creating them. And I see there's these forums happening around the country now as well. So I'm looking forward to maybe just hearing more about that. But there's a lot of talk about change out there, so I wouldn't be too despondent, even though RT don't think there is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other ball of wax. I just want to say that whilst I get really nervous, there's nothing more relaxing than doing the show, according to people like Johnny and Neil Curran. So if you want to join us, it's just a platform. You can be of any political persuasion. It's not an echo chamber. I mean, it may seem that we are in agreement, but we're not always. I mean, we're slightly. Anyway, and also another thing that I found over the years, moderating and stuff like that, that people like Leo and Simon absolutely do not reflect. People like Neil Martin don't reflect. Well, you know, they don't reflect the very decency that's at the core of the Irish. It seems to be at the core of the Irish. Anything that we've ever, even our worst trolls will pitch in. Olga, you've seen that, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, but that's what I mean. But I'm not. I wonder. That's why I was trying to ask what you guys thought of, like, this focus on just the two of them, and it's just, you know. So this is now, like, they were doing that debate. They're preaching to the converted. This is a Fine Gael event, and we know, okay, it's going to become Taoiseach, but we're getting to see them, you know, in this kind of raw light. It's extremely focused. It's quite intense, and even though I probably didn't pay much attention at the start, it was interesting the last few days anyway. But do you think it's going to, like, regardless of who wins, will they win the general election?
Well, I think Varadkar's very damaged now, and if he does get the Taoiseachship, I think this will haunt him the welfare cheats, and what he said on the 6-1.
And the sense of entitlement, yeah, absolutely.
He said that we're blaming billionaires who don't live in the country.
Billionaires, Apple, like big corporations.
So he's essentially saying that he's essentially making an appeal to Dennis O'Brien's vote. He doesn't want Johnny's vote, but he'll take Dennis's one vote. But he's simply appealing to one man who controls all these newspapers and radio stations. It's quite amazing.
Mm. And interestingly, Vincent Brown made the point in a piece today in the Irish Times about when Leo apparently said something like he joined in 1996 and how this was the year of everything that happened with, you know.
He was inspired that year.
Yeah, so
it was the year of Larry and
yeah, and so Vincent Brown's point was basically, you know, why would you have been inspired by Fine Gael of all the years, you know, if you really wanted to do something different and whatever, why would you have been inspired by a party like that? But
yeah. Well, again, as I say, like if there's anybody on Team Leo, Team Simon, whatever, Team Nihal, Team Jerry, if you want to come on, you're welcome to come on. There's no restrictions. We're let down a bit tonight by a couple of guests, not let down because of Wi-Fi issues. And Neil is in the Midwest of America, and so we hope to have him back next week and many others. It's 12:41. Should we call it a night? We should call it a night. It's a night. Thank you to Johnny. Thank you to Lucky from earlier in Eindhoven, and we'll speak to him next week. And thank you to Olga Cronin at the Sheet. And thank you for your patience. And we'll hopefully see you on the side tomorrow and here next Thursday.